Did that? Okay. Wow. Okay. Sorry about that. Wow. I apologize. I thought I had gone live, and maybe I didn't. So I guess I'm live now. But thank you for watching so far. So, wow. Okay. Well, I gotta go and start all over again. Wow, Kazowie, I'm only in. Oh, geez. Okay. So I guess I went offline here. Thank you for holding on. Pro, so appreciate it. I just you're live in your channel. Okay. Well, sometimes this doesn't work. Sometimes this doesn't work. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen you taking to iPhone. Okay, thank you. What are you going to do shows between Christmas? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if I'm going to take any breaks this year, depending on how it trades. I'd like probably take a day or two. I'll tell you beforehand. But I kind of want to go in strong into the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. We're moving right up there. So really appreciate it. Thanks for bearing with me with this this little outage. My feed went down. So hopefully I'm back. Hopefully I'm back here. Okay. Advise on the buy point here for NVIDIA and Palantir. Let's look at Palantir first. I'm also in Palantir. Actually, I'm in too many things. I normally don't like to have more than 8 positions, but it's just been doing so good. It's like there's so many good things to buy right now that I've been having a little bit of trouble figuring out what I'm going to buy. It's pulled back a little bit, but it's at 27.18. I think this one could double. I really do. The question is, where can you buy it? I think that the best buy point on this really is right about at this level, right about this level here, about 24.43. The question is, the question is, can we get in there? Well, basically what's happening is that you can see it's pulling back to this 21-day line. But the question is it possible to buy there? Well, it's hard to buy it there because basically it's not pulling all the way back to this 23 line. It's pulling back to the 10-day line. So the place that you could probably buy this tomorrow, I think it will pull down a little bit, very likely that it will. And I think you could buy it right about at this 25 level. And I think that's going to be pretty good for you. So that's kind of giving you my take on Palantir. It is forming a little bit of consolidation here between about 25 and 30. Okay, so this area in here is significant in that I think it has to bust through this 30 to go higher. But it seems as if each time it's going up. So I think if you could buy it at the 25 or maybe 25.50 level, that would be pretty excellent in terms of a buy point for you. So check my audio, make sure that is working good. Okay, good. Somebody actually came up to my machine here, believe it or not, and stole something out of my drawer. So, oh well. Okay, could you look at QS? And let's take a look at QS right now. QS. All right. And that seems to be, okay. QuantumScape. Interesting. I don't know this company that well, I'll be honest. Let's kind of look at it. It's a relatively new company. It looks like it's just IPO'd. It does have an IPO base, but wow, look at that. 99 on the relative strength. That's tremendous. But let's look at the weekly first. That's going to tell the tale. So we basically have an IPO base. This is very typical, by the way. It comes out here. It then moves up very quickly, usually in the first day or two, and then people start selling it off. See, and they've sold it off, and then it bottoms, and then the funds start getting into it, and it starts moving up, and that looks like a very nice IPO base. So let's see if we have any funds in it currently. Yeah, we have 27 of them. Let's take a look at the funds to see kind of what is in there. The reason I'm always so interested in looking at the funds is because it's the funds that basically push a stock higher. That's really what does it in here. So we've got some good ones in here. Mostly Franklin and these Putnam funds looks like that are in it right now. So Franklin seems to be in it, and Franklin Templeton is a very good firm. Asset allocation, mid-cap growth. Okay, that's interesting. So the question is it viable and where is it viable? Well, it is basically only 2% funds here. Here's the thing. Let's see what else. Workhorse, Ardent, Cooper's. Okay, so this is solid-state lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. Here's the thing about this one. I am a little bit concerned about this due to the fact that it is, this is an area that where they could actually get a lot of pushback from companies like Panasonic and Toshiba and companies like that. I'm just not sure about this. I mean, I really love this relative strength at 99, but it's a very short time. But we've had strong accumulation in here. So the question is, where can you buy this, and where would you buy this? Well, the way I'm looking at this one is really the buy point is really about here at about 25. That's where I would buy it. But the question is, but right now it's 67, so it's 3 times above that. So I have to tell you, this is kind of hard to say. This is not a buy right now. I think you're going to have to wait on it. I think you're going to have to wait for it to pull back a little bit, and get back into position, because it's a good company. It's got everything going for it, but the problem is, of course, it's a little bit too high. So that's the situation. Let's look at Fastly. That is a FSLY. FSLY. Okay, let's look at Fastly. It seems like it's starting to make a move again. And let's see if we can kind of, get, look at it more closely. Boy, I like that. I still love that that relative strength at 98. That's very good. We've got a nice on the weekly chart. We have this very, very nice motion. So this is very good. The buy point, though, unfortunately, on the first stage of consolidation is 117. It's at 100 right now. Can we buy it? Can we find a place to buy this thing? Wow. It's looking very good. I would want to see a pullback to that 21-day line, and that's currently at about 80. But I just don't know if it'll pull back that far. Here's the thing: you possibly this would be a very aggressive buy, but you could buy it if it pulled back to this line here, which currently is about 93. So if Fastly pulls back to 93 and then reverses, you could buy it right there, and that would be it would be really up this 10-day line. That's not a really very good place to buy it, to be honest with you, because because based on this, it could just go right down like that. So, you know what? I would wait on this one. I would wait until it was above this 102.99. I would say I wouldn't buy this until it was above 103 at the very earliest. So let's see what happens with Fastly, and let's see if it moves above 103. If it moves above 103, then I think you might have something to work with right then. But before it moves above 103, I don't think it's possible. I would watch list this one. So there we go. Okay, do you think Tesla's still a buy over 6? Absolutely, I do, brother versus brother. I do, and I actually think it's more of a buy. What do I mean by this? You think, Jim, why do you like to buy them when they're making new highs? Well, many years ago, this is kind of anecdotal, but William O'Neill started looking around. This is in the 60s, actually, the early 60s. He looked around and he looked at the most successful mutual fund. At that time, it was called the Dreyfus Fund, and you might know this because Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who was on Seinfeld, is the daughter of the person that ran the Dreyfus Fund, and it was incredibly profitable fund back in the 60s. And William O'Neill just couldn't understand why this fund always made the money, and everyone else was kind of mediocre. Well, he started back testing everything and looking at the charts, and he found that the Dreyfus Fund tended to buy at higher highs. So part of the CanSlim investing method, by the way, I recommend that you read How to Make Money in Stocks, A Winning System, Good Times or Bad. How to Make Money in Stocks. How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill, is that this is one of the key things. You always want to buy something within 15% of its all-time high. So, getting back to Fastly, and I'm talking all these things about Fastly. Fastly fell off the face of the earth a little bit, but now it's coming back. I want to see it make a move above this intermediate high at 102.98, so 95. So I am not interested in buying Fastly really until it's moved higher than that. So it's not buyable until then. The same thing goes with Tesla, and I want to show you that as well. With Tesla, there is a let's look at the weekly chart. There is resistance right about at this. Oops, did I get that right? Yeah. Okay. Let's pull that back. Okay. Oh, goodness. Yeah. With Tesla, there's resistance right at about this 650 level, as you can see. It's just coming right up to it. Now the question is, will it push through it? Well, it has already at 655. Let's see if it goes to 660. If it does, then I think we confirm that it's moving higher. But there is a range, and I want to show you that on the daily. So actually, if it moves above 650, I'm actually more interested in it than I am below. Now, I did start making my buys at 615, so I can't be totally off base here. But you see, this is about the 650 level. Initially, it went up there, it broke above it, and then it pulled back. And then it tried again, and it pulled back. And now it looks like it's definitively moved above it. So 650 is a very good buy level for Tesla, believe it or not. And that's basically it in a nutshell. So I may be buying more above. I made a buy at 6. I sold all my holdings at 570, took the profit, and now I'm starting to buy back in. My first buy was at 615. My second one's about 624, and then I'm waiting for it to go above 650. Probably be making another buy there. So I think above 650 on good volume. I think you're going to do very, very well on that. Okay. Oh, hey, great. Thank you, Flex. What about RVP? This is kind of an interesting one. RVP is called Retractable Technologies, and they have a very interesting patent that where they make a retractable needle. Now, this one's hard to trade. As you can see, it's pulled way back. Let's look at the weekly chart here. It was doing great, and then and now it may be doing great again. Now, just like I was talking about before, about making a new high. Right now, it may be getting to the point where it's buyable again. Why? Because we have this nice trend up, and then it will hit, and then it'll come back, and then it'll move back up, and then as it pulls above the resistance, that's where you want to consider buying it. And it definitely has. At 1220, it's up about 7%. So the question is, can we buy this thing? Well, I'm liking everything about this. 99 on the relative strength. It's got very nice increasing sales. I'm liking that. The funds are starting to discover it. The funds are starting to discover it. So they're in it. Let's pull those up. We have, a significant number. We have 175 funds that are in it now. And many of these are like large cap and small cap. So they're all over the place. But the funds are in it. So I'm liking that too. So here's the thing about RVP. I as I probably said many times on the show, I very much like this stock. I'm not in it currently, but I do like it because I do think it is moving higher. And I do think the trend on this one is very, very good. It's got 7 out of 9, so I'm liking that. It's been marching right up this 40-day line. So the question is, where can you buy it? Well, I think that it's tough to buy it because you can buy it probably about here, which is about 1375. It looks like. So you probably could buy this, but I only buy it on uptick. So what I would do is I would do a buy stop limit order at about potentially about 13 and right about $13. I do it right about there, and I think that might be a good one. But it's a very good stock, and 99 relative strength and very strong. It's not a very expensive stock either, but be careful with those inexpensive stocks because part of the problem with an inexpensive stock is that they tend to be more volatile and they're harder to trade. That's the reason. Okay, I'm holding Tesla good. NIO. I also have a position in NIO. God, I tell you, I have too many positions right now. I'm going to have to start I'm going to have to start getting serious about about culling some of these. But when there's good stuff out there, you want to buy it. And today's been a good day. So let's look at the weekly chart. This is the weekly chart for NEO. We're up for the week, $4. Let's look at the daily. I think we're down a little bit on the daily. No, we're up today on the daily. So yeah, it's just working right off of this 21-day line. So really, and look, we have a beautiful 99 relative strength, and we have some very nice buying action in here. So this is looking very good. Here's the thing with NEO. I do think that it looks like there was a reversal. And I think, always, I did buy it on the reversal as well. So hopefully I'm right about this on the reversal. But this is kind of how you want to buy it. It'll move up, it'll pull back, and then when it reverses, that's kind of where you want to start accumulating it. Now, above the 21-day line, it's looking good. Here's the thing. I would set my stop loss very tight on this one at 2.5%. 1%, of course, is going to be about $0.50. So I would put my stop loss very tight, maybe as tight as $44.50. But I would do it, so I wouldn't lose any of that upward motion. But looking pretty good on NEO. I'm so confused. Sorry about that. I am sorry about what happened. What happened to? Sorry about that. I had a little bit of difficulty on getting my stream into YouTube today. It just it kind of, I don't know. I was broadcasting along, and then all of a sudden, poof! It went away. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying the wrong things and they're censoring me for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what's going. But we're back. We're back on YouTube. We're on YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. Facebook, unfortunately, fell off the earth. So I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to get better on Facebook. MAGA Homes, Jim, curious how these funds. Okay, we talked a little bit about that. So let's see if we get next. That's the question. Fastly, Redfin. Okay, we talked about Google. We talked about that. Nike. We talked about that. I guess some funds will. Yeah, I do believe this, Christian. I absolutely do. I do think they will need to rebalance, and I do think we're going to see more of that as well. Riot Blockchain. This is one of my favorites too. This is kind of an interesting one as well. This is sort of a sympathy trade along with GBDC. So, and I haven't really been doing much with Riot Blockchain, but I like it. And this is, of course, using the, some of the, the blockchain capabilities. It's an interesting software company. 99 on the relative strength, so that's very good. It's a cheap stock. I mean, it's only $10. Pulled back today. This can be a problem. These can be very, very, kind of volatile. But we're above the 200-day line, and we have a good relative strength. It's trending up. We have a 99. That's good. We're above the 40-day, and we're above the 21-day exponential and the 10-day. So that's good. So we had a nice pull up today. Now the question is, where can you buy this? I believe that it has a little bit of resistance right about here, and we're moving through that. So I do think it's going to pull back. I do think we're going to pull back a little bit on this one. So you got to be a little bit careful on this one. But I would watch this one. I'm not sure if I'd want to buy it right away, but boy, it's got a good checklist. 8 out of 9. Look at the funds. We've got 21 funds on it. That's amazing for a $10 stock. It really is. I'm going to put Riot on the watch list. I'm definitely going to put that on the watch list. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I wouldn't buy it right now. I want to wait. I want to see a pullback. If there's a pullback below about $9 and it reverses, then I think I'm probably going to be a buyer in that one. Okay. So, question from TikTok. Moshiokan, Moshcan. Please, NETE and MVIS. Let's take a look. I don't know either of these, so thanks for bringing that up. NETE. Let's look at that. Net Element, and boy, that's 98 relative strength. Wow, and it's only $11 stock. What's going on? That's great. Huh. Wow. Okay. Well, that's pretty exciting. 98 on that relative strength. It did pull back a little bit today. $1.56. It's a very volatile stock, by the way. Where can we buy this thing? Well, I don't think there's really a good buy point on this one. Probably the best buy point is going to be right at this line, the 40-day, and we're pretty far extended above that. The current trend has been a downward trend. Currently we're in a downward trend, but on the weekly chart, we're kind of a little bit more. We also have a downward trend as well. So we're going to have to wait for a reversal on this one. I think that reversal is probably either going to come here at the 21-day line or at the 40-day line. I think that it's more likely to be at the 40-day line. This is a watch list, but it's very good. The checklist is a little bit weak, though. 5 out of 9. I'm not liking that. And the funds are, well, we only have 12 funds, so it's pretty weak in terms of the funds. You know what? This is a little bit too speculative for me right now. So I think the best thing to do on this one is to probably watch list this one. It just doesn't look like the fund sponsorship is strong enough right now. That's just basically the way it lines out. All right. So, all right. I buy a wish at 20, WISH at 22. Let's look at WISH, and this is on TikTok. This is Contextual Logic provides online retail services, to be sold on wish.com. Interesting. I've never heard of this company, just to be honest. It doesn't even have an RS rating yet. It just came out the door. You know what? Sorry to say this, but I think you want to be a little bit... I don't think you want to buy this at 22. I am so sorry to tell you that. But user 7957696897398. Don't buy this at 22. It looks like it's probably going to pull back. And so wait for this thing to pull back, but you don't want to buy an IPO until it's been out for at least 3 months, because it doesn't pay to do that. All right. Let's see. Okay. Holding some shares long, but falling jump smaller position. Great. Yeah, I'm live on TikTok. Sorry about the problem with the YouTube. It just cut out. Like, I couldn't believe it. Okay. Let's look at the TQQQ. Thanks, Ollie. Or the TQQ or the QQQ for the Santa Claus rally. The QQQ, of course, is the NASDAQ 100. And it's the overall, and typically, this is a good month for the indexes. December tends to be very good for the indexes. Okay, well, let's look at the daily chart for the SQQQ, TQQQ. It does look like it's making a new high at 303. It's at 311. I think you'd be fairly safe if you went into this to the QQQ. I don't think you would get hurt on it, because I do think that we are trending upwards. So that's looking good. Let's look at the TQQQ. By the way, everybody, the TQQQ is a special ETF, which basically tracks the index, the QQQ index, but on a leveraged basis, using options to basically get a 3-time return. Now, it's both up and down. Now, I think that the TQQQ is the better of the two buys, because there is a buy point on it at 175.67. So I think that you could probably buy the TQQ. That would probably be the better of the two, Ollie. I really believe that. That would probably be the better of the two. I'm looking at the daily chart here. But this is the buy point on the TQQQ, which is which is right here at about 175. If you do buy this one, be very careful. Put your stop losses in 2.5% below on this one. Be very careful because it can snap back on you very, very strongly. So that would be an issue with the TQQQ, but it's looking pretty good. It's definitely looking pretty good on that as well. So, okay. Thoughts on, okay. So Airbnb, good entry point for Amazon. Let's see. Okay, let's see if I can get another one on TikTok here. Plug Power. All right, let's look at Plug Power. Well, let's look at Federal Express first, FDX. Yeah, Federal Express is pulling higher today. You know, the thing about Federal Express, you're not going to get the kind of moves on Federal Express that you're going to get on that you're going to get on if you're on a Tesla or a, or some of the other stocks. But it's pretty reliable. What's happened here is that it pulled back to the 21-day line. It looks like it's bounced there a little bit. Yeah, it's running right up the 40-day line. So if we extrapolate, it's probably going to move probably higher. It's looking like it's going to improve, but not a lot. Maybe in 2 months there's probably $7 to $10 gain on this one. So I don't know if you want to do this one. I think you could probably do a little better on FedEx, and I think you can do a little bit better on FedEx. But there's some other ones I think that are better and are better bets than FedEx right now. What are the 9 things? Oh, great. Okay, what are the 9 things that you check on your checklist? Let's pull that up just so I can show it to everybody. And this is not my checklist. I wish it was. I would be a genius if that was the case. But this is the William O'Neill checklist, and this has been refined over many, many years. And this is what he found makes a great growth stock. The first of them is that the earnings per share rating is in the top quartile, the top 20%. Well, in the case of Federal Express, that is a failure there. It is not. So it's not the most profitable company. It's a big company, but it's not the most profitable. The relative strength rating is better than 80%. Well, it passes on that because it's a relative strength of 90. The decumulation rating is either A, B, or C. Well, it passes on that. That means the funds are accumulating it. That's very important because that's what pushes the stock up. The earnings per share percentage change in last quarter. Well, it has to be up. It has to be up if it's earnings are up, and it was. You see, it was down 50% in the quarter prior, and it was up 60%. So that's a pass. The current price is above $10 a share. It's stocks that are below $10 a share and actually below $15 a share typically are more volatile and harder to trade. And this is one of the most important ones, interestingly enough. Percent off of its all-time high. It's 15% off of its all-time high. It definitely makes that one. The 50-day moving average is on pass, and the number of funds that are in it are 5. Now, if you want more information on what I'm talking about, on the criteria that I'm talking about, you can get this in a book called How to Make Money in Stocks, A Winning System, Good Times and Are Bad by William O'Neill. And I had it up on my website. I'm going to be putting it back up on my website. I had a little bit of technical issues there. It's not working right now, but hopefully it will be working by this weekend. So that's what I'm hoping. What do you want for a question? Oops, that's not showing. Why is it not showing? There we go. What do you want for Christmas? $1 million. That would be nice. In cash, preferably. Okay. Is there a buy point for Square? Let's take a look. Okay, so going back over to the charts. SQ is the symbol, of course, for Square. It's got a 97 rating, which is tremendous. So let's take a quick look at Square. See if there's a buy point. See if there's anything we can find there that we'll see, where it is. We want to start looking at the weekly chart first. This is a very, very nice chart. I mean, since the coronavirus thing hit, they've just been doing great. And it's pulled up, and it's above 230. It's 230.74. But the problem is it doesn't look like there's a clear buy point on this one. No, unfortunately, there's not. Unfortunately, there's no clear base pattern. It's just continuing to go up. Now, what a stock will do many times is it will move up, and then eventually it'll get to a level where it meets some resistance. Once that happens, it will start consolidating. And once it consolidates, then it sometimes will produce a base pattern. And these base patterns are like a cup without handle, cup with handle, double bottom, 3-week tight. There's a number of them. And then once once it's consolidated in there, then it will eventually, hopefully, if there's enough interest in it, it will push through that buy point, and then usually if it pushes through it on heavy volume, and it will move up in price. Now, the question with Square is there anything like that? Well, it doesn't really look that way. It looks like, there is a channel, but there's no real buy point on Square. So this is the channel currently. So we're at the top of the channel right now. What do I think is going to happen in the short term? Well, I think what's going to happen in the short term is that it's going to move downward. And the reason I do think that is because typically a stock will move, if it doesn't in a base pattern, it tends to move into a channel. And this is the channel I've drawn here. And it will move up, and then it will hit the top of the channel, and it'll move down. So I suspect this is likely to move down at least until it gets to about 203. So it's pull back as much as 30. So would I be a buyer of Square right now? Probably not. I would watch list it though, but I don't think it's going to gap up. It did definitely shoot up to 230 today, but looking at what I'm seeing here, it most likely is going to pull back. But I could be totally wrong on that. I have been for many times. Hey, Dan, thank you. First-time viewer. I'm watching Bitcoin like an eagle, but I'm not sure what to do. My head says sell, and my heart says hold. I already got burned out of. Oh, okay, scam this year. Help a young man. Okay, well, hopefully I can help you. This is part of the reason I don't buy Bitcoin directly. I know that everyone tells you, do the Bitcoin and all that, but to avoid scams, I think Bitcoin's a great investment, but I don't like to buy it directly. I like to buy it through they call the Bitcoin, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, or symbol GBTC. They hold about 4% of the world's Bitcoin. And this is an easy ETF. You can get in and out of it very easily, and I kind of want to show you kind of how it trades. It's not a tremendously expensive ETF. Currently, it's trading at 28 to 25, and you can see it's gapped up twice. Well, actually, once today, and then once today, once yesterday. So this is definitely moving very, very strongly. Part of the reason is that yesterday, and I put this out, American Express is going to be buying a lot of Bitcoin. So there's a lot of demand for Bitcoin out there. But I wouldn't recommend owning Bitcoin directly. I would recommend owning something like the GBTC, which will give you a little better way of dealing with it. And that's kind of how I recommend dealing with Bitcoin. So you might want to sell the Bitcoin that you have. I know this sounds strange. You might want to sell the Bitcoin you have and then invest in the GBTC, which holds 4% of the world's Bitcoin. That might be a good way to play it, because it's much more fungible. You can buy in and out of it, and it's very liquid, and easy to deal with. All right, hi Jim. What's up with parts? I got shook out of this one. This is carparts.com. PRTS is the symbol on it, and it was a disappointment. Sometimes you just don't right, and I wasn't right on this one. I was totally wrong. And, it was moving up so very nicely. Everything was looking good. And then it took a fall. And it fell below this line here. Now, here's what happens. And this is also, it had this beautiful cup with handle formation. First stage, the pivot was 1490. And then it moved nicely higher. But then it got some resistance here right at about the $17 level. Hit that resistance, and then it just fell. And unfortunately, it fell below, and this is the key, it fell below that 40-day line, and it did not reverse. That's why you always want to buy something as it's reversing higher. You don't want to catch a falling knife, as they say. You don't want to buy in a down tick. You always want to try to buy an uptick. So I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait to see how low this one goes. If it goes low, if it pulls down, it may pull down as low as the $200 day line. I don't think it will, though. I don't think it will pull that low, but if it does and it reverses, that's what you want to wait for. So watch this one as it comes down, and eventually it's going to reverse up, and then you want to buy it as it's going up. You want to buy it as it's going up, and a way that you can do this is with a buy stop limit order. And I do explain this, how to do this kind of order, in my chart school videos, which are on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So sometimes they don't always work the way you want them to work. Okay, JMIA. This is an interesting one. This is a German company, I believe, that does business in Africa. JMIA. And that is Gemma Technologies. And it looks like it is up today. Wow. Interesting. Let's see if there's anywhere we can buy this or anything we can do with this. Let's look at the daily. Okay, well, yeah, I can see why this is interesting. Okay, it looks as if there's a bit of resistance right here at this $40 level. In order to be buyable, it's really going to have to move above this 39.14. The place to buy it, if you were going to buy it, because it does have a nice uptrend, the place to buy it would be right about, and I don't really recommend it because this is not really a good buy point, but the place to buy it would be right about here, as it's moving higher. And you can do this with a buy stop limit order, and you can get in on it that way. But let's look at the fundamentals of it. It's got an excellent checklist, 7 out of 9. The funds are good. It's a little bit light on the funds. It's a little bit thin in terms of its fund sponsorship here, but it's not bad. So where would I buy this thing? Well, I would wait. This is a watch list. JAMI. Is that right? JMIA. I'm sorry. JAMI. And I'm going to say the buy point that not the true buy point is about 41. That's where I would be looking to buy it as it moved higher than that 41. So that's where I would kind of look to see if I could find a place to buy it at that level. All right. Okay. The daily chart for Walmart, WMT, looks really pretty. What's your thoughts about a buy point? Let's look at Walmart. Of course, that's WMT. And let's look at the daily. Well, is it a pretty chart? Is it a pretty chart? I'm not so sure it's a pretty chart. Now, I do like the fact that we were in a downward trend here. I disagree with you a little bit on this, if this is a pretty chart or not. It was in a downward trend, and it looks like it just hit the 40-day line. It's reversed, and we do have some strength, so that is good. That is a good sign. Is it buyable at this level? Well, you know what? It may be. That's interesting. It actually may be buyable at this level if it looks like it has a convincing reversal off of the 40-day line. It looks like it does. The question is, could you buy it at this level? I don't really like this right now, and I'll tell you why. Because this relative strength is just so low. It's 42, but we have some nice strength there. The question is this a reversal? And it does look kind of like it is a reversal. We were trending down like this, and then we looks like we reversed up. It looks like we're reversing up, but it's too early to say. I want to see it move pretty above that 21-day line. Now, you could probably buy it off of that 21-day line there, and that currently, that 21-day line is 147.54, 147.54. So I would buy it if it reverses higher above about 147. But right now, I just wouldn't buy Walmart. I just wouldn't buy it because it's in a downward trend. It looks like it may change direction, but yeah, I can't really tell. I can't really tell. What's your opinion of BTCE in Germany? It's Bitcoin. Well, I don't know. BTCE, is that right? Oh, not recognized. Unfortunately, I don't have a symbol for that. I wish I could. Okay. Oh, BITW is a great way to play Bitcoin. Okay, let's look at BITW. I currently use the Greystone Bitcoin, the GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. But let's look at BITW. Let's see what that is. No, it's not recognized either. I'm so sorry on that. The one I use is this one. It is GBTC, and that is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And I want to show you the chart on that one right now. And that's basically, this is the one I use, is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And we did have some very nice buying in the last 2 days. Now, the question is, it probably will pull back a little bit, but once it pulls back, we may be getting ready for another run on it as well. Good question. I bought Airbnb at 122. What should I do? Hold or sell? So let's look at Airbnb. I don't typically like to buy stocks when they come out initially because they almost always pull back, and indeed that's the case here. So let's look at Airbnb. It just doesn't appeal to me because it hasn't been out there long enough. It's got a relative strength of 1. I'm not liking that. And yeah, we moved up here hugely, and then everybody sold, and we went all the way back down. So where's it trading now? 147. Well, it's trading right about here. Okay. So it's right about here. So that's good. So it bounced. It went up and it bounced and it came back. You just really can't buy this one right now. But you're in it at 122. Here's the thing. Here's what I would do. I would sell this right now and wait a little bit of time. Wait a little bit of time and then see if it firms up and forms a base. Right now it doesn't have a base and it could pull back very much more. So I would take my profits right now. That would be what I would do if I were in that situation. You skipped my... Okay, I am sorry, Downey. TTEC. Let's take a look at TTEC. Again, TTEC. Sorry, I skipped your question. I didn't mean to. T-Tech Holdings. And this one is basically it's work from home offshore. I don't really know much about this. The chart looks pretty good. I mean, I'm going to show the weekly here. Let's kind of look to see. It's got a 91 relative strength, so I'm liking that. It does have a nice. It is moving. It has a nice trend, so you definitely could buy that trend. The buy point on a cup. Second stage cup was at 60.60. Currently, it's at 78.79. So it is extended. It's up $5 today. Wow, that's pretty good. And we did have a large amount of buying. So there's definitely people buying this. This is definitely true. It has some nice increase in revenue, which I'm liking, and it is profitable. It is not. And look at the funds that are moving into it. So. Yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm currently in another one that's similar to this, Fiverr, an Israeli company. I don't know about T-Tech Holdings as well, but it's got a 100% checklist. Wow, that is really good. So the question is, what can we do? Where can we get into it? Really, unfortunately, it doesn't really have a base pattern yet. Yeah, you see it's pulling back. It seems like it's pulling back to the 10-day line. The question is, if it will pull back to the 10-day line and then reverse, you could buy it that way. It would not be. I would not buy a full position there. I would only buy a half position there. But it looks like it's buyable if it pulls back to about 73 and then reverses higher. So here's what I would do. Here's the strategy I would use on this one if you wanted to buy this one. I'm currently not in this one. I would wait for it to pull back and then reverse, and then buy it with a buy stop limit order at about 72. Now currently it's at 78, so it's got to pull below that about 72 and then reverse higher. Then as it's reversing, that's where you want to buy it. Would I buy a full position? No, because this is not a base pattern. This is a base pattern here. This is a base pattern here, and there was a buy point. There was an actual legitimate buy point at 60.60. But currently there is not a base pattern, and it is moving basically up the 10-day line. So really, you could buy it at 72, but I would wait for it to pull back down. It's moving lower right now. Pull back down, and then if it reverses, and then as it's reversing up, buy it at about 72. And you could do this automatically if you use a buy stop limit order. And I've shown people how to do this on my video on YouTube. It's at youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor. It's a chart school video on the buy stop limit order. So you might want to take a look at that one. But it's a good stock. I mean, it's got a good stock. All right. So what about net? This is Cloudflare, and I'm in Cloudflare, by the way. Been in it for a while. It's done pretty well for me. I bought it on the breakout. It's pulled up again today, just slightly, not a lot. I do have I am probably going to be stopped out of this one. I'm going to be sold out of this one at 70 because I did sell a call option on it, at least part of my holdings. It's currently at 81, 82, so just been very, 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 very good. Now, it does look like it's forming a little bit of a consolidation here at the $80 level, so who knows what's going to happen on this one. But let's look at the particulars and see if it's still as good as I think it is. Yeah, it is. 88% is the 8 out of 9 on the smell test, which is excellent. Basically, the only thing it's down on is the earnings per share, and that's because it's a growth company. We've got a Fidelity Contra Fund in there. Everything's looking good in that area. The question is, where can you buy it? And it's going to be a little bit tough to buy it because it looks like it's sort of stopping a little bit here. It's sort of a way station. It looks like at about 80. So the question is, will it settle? Will we get some consolidation at 80? I think we may. We may get some consolidation from about 80 up to maybe about 85. It's at 81.32, 81.82 right now. So I do think we're going to get a little bit of consolidation there. If it does form some consolidation, and possibly a pattern, then I think we could buy it again. It really hasn't. Where I purchased it was basically right about here, as it moved above the this 45.28 neckline on a cup basis. So, and it did gap up, as you can see. That's why gap ups sometimes are so good to buy, because when they gap up, and then they pull back a little bit, and then they go to the 21-day line, and then they go right up. So that's definitely been the case with that. Would I buy another position at this level? Probably not. I'd probably wait to see if there was a base pattern that formed. I'm probably going to be selling mine probably tomorrow, because I have that call option that I just sold, and so we'll see. We'll see. All right. I apologize about the problems with the technical problems that I had today. Hopefully I won't have those tomorrow. I sometimes have trouble with YouTube. It sometimes it doesn't let me stream. So, and that's definitely what happened today. Well, I would also like to hopefully answer some more of your questions, and I will try to do that tomorrow. One good way is to get on the Action Trade Alerts list. It's super easy. All you have to do is go over to www.DallasTradingFloor, and of course, we'd love it if you would subscribe as well. That helps me a lot, and of course, like it on that. Till tomorrow. Happy trading. I hope everybody's okay, and I will see you at 2:30 hopefully tomorrow. Happy trading.